What deck I'm most afraid of the face of Junk Coco deck? The mirror match. The mirror match. Love reading the ton of good card and showing up to Fulminator Mage in hand. Yeah, well, the idea is that I've played a lot of like more like sacrifice synergy based Jund Collected Company Unearth decks, but this version is not leaning on synergy so much as it is just generically good cards and playing Fulminator Mage for interaction. Is this? Oh, this is the same Niv player, I think. He just fetched all basics, and my Fulminators did nothing against them. Much as X-Whale's not a serious competitor. Well, X-Whale like said the exact same thing about about his list, that he thought it was good for the mocks and not good for other tournaments. I don't know. Canister always comes in the chat to troll me, and I always am sweating. Yeah, I think it's the same player we placed against earlier, which is rough because they know about the Fulminator Mages. So last time I brought these Magus to the Moons in, I think I'm not doing that again. People wanted me to bring in Boseiju because of Utopia Sprawl. I feel like that can't be good. Just wait 2 Thoughtseize. Outland Liberator? I don't think so. I don't know. The regular versions of Omnath don't play Utopia Sprawl. Utopia Sprawl is like so particularly good against our list because we can't fulminate them off of it usually. We'll have to play against the same Niv player twice too. Omnath is just Manamorphose in disguise. Yeah, well, both pretty busted cards, huh? Yeah, Grist does come in playoff company. Okay. Really wish we had a fetch land, but I will keep. Both Thoughtseizes. It's not the same player? Okay. I thought that it was, but is Utopia Sprawl? Okay, yeah, definitely not the same player. Okay, but what's going on with the Utopia Sprawls? I guess do the Vivian versions just play them? Should every version of 4-color Omnath just play Utopia Sprawl? And should have this whole time? Maybe. 10 out of 18 of your Coco hits your legendary. Does it make the Coco... Does it make Coco worse? I don't know. I think that it's very easy to sit and agonize over your collected companies not being perfect, but they're never going to be perfect. I think it's okay that like hitting 2 Grists is awkward, or hitting 2 Ragavans. Hitting 2 Kroxas is also fine, so I don't feel like that's necessarily like a great argument. But you could also maybe suggest on how to like what threats you could play differently too, but I'm just not that worried about it. Okay. I think I'm discarding Swamp Seasoned Pyromancer. I can return the Swamp. No, I'll just discard these 2. Yeah, it seems a bit better. How good do you think General Rockrick is in the current meta? There's a lot of like tier 2, tier 3 decks that have very polarized matchups against some of the top decks in the format in one way or the other. Where General Rockrick is abysmally bad against the Omnath version, against the Yorion decks. You can win, you can win, and the card General Rockrick is pretty good in the matchup, but there's not a good cyber plan. You're really, really bad in that matchup. But I do think that you have a good matchup with Rockrick against Murktide, Living In, Hammer Time, Burn, which is a pretty good spread to be good against at the moment. Although you're not that good against the big mana decks either, so probably not that well positioned. How positioned do you think Red Black mid ranges? I think Red Black's good at the moment. Definitely a much more flat matchup spread overall, but I like it. Okay, so let's go Unearth, Fulminator Mage. They have a lot of white cards in their hands, so I think I'm going to go attack the white mana. The Risen Reef can definitely catch them back up. We also know that they have Solitude too. So probably save for the Kroxa. We'll see, we'll see. How does it work if you hit 2 Seasoned Pyromancers? Both triggers go on the stack, and then you'll usually discard the cards you draw off the first Seasoned Pyromancer, but making any tokens for the cards you discard. Classic bad against 4 color, good against the rest, or vice versa. Modern is great. Yeah. I don't know. This is kind of also... I understand that this is definitely the dynamic of the format, but... It's also true, it's, I think, generally bad if you have a deck that is good against everything. There is no deck that's good against everything. As far as I can tell, at least. I don't know, there's a very small handful of decks that are good against 4 color and good against some of the other top decks in the format. It's a very, very small range, but... So yeah, I played Fulminator instead of Kroxa because I knew they had the Solitude. I'm kind of surprised that they're Solituding end of turn. I feel like they would want to main phase this. No real reason to do anything right now. Oh no, I guess Veil of Summer is a reason. They could draw Veil. Yeah. I don't know. The thing about the 4 color decks is that it's so demoralizing to lose to them. It's emotionally straining to lose to the 4 color deck. Okay, so they Solitude pitched Guardian. I don't think we know about any cards here. I fear living in is good against everything, but bad versus hate. I mean, I don't know that something can be good against everything, but bad versus hate. You know what I mean? Kind of feels like a bit of a oxymoron. I mean, if they had Endurance, they would have already Enduranced, right? So I think I should Unearth first. I guess like not much reason to actually. Not Kroxa first. Like Dredge, yeah. Like there is a lot of Living End hates. Living End is also like. Living End is definitely one of those decks where if you're high rolling with it and you're running really well, it is true that you're not gonna do a lot of losing. You're not gonna do a lot of losing if you are running well with your Living End deck. You definitely have draws that can beat almost anything. But we also have draws that are clunky. You're not that consistent in the sense that you just always have these kind of nut draws that beat everything. Yeah, too bad no Bailoff, huh? So thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. Our draw was pretty good that game. Don't think I want to make any changes for game 3. I'm gonna click submit. I've kind of been in the same mindset that we're talking about here, where I'm just like slamming my brain in the grindstone that is Modern, trying to find something that is just like the perfect deck choice that's going to crush everything. I know that's always the question. But I just feel like I need to take my brain off of the sandpaper for a little bit and just kind of reflect on the fact that the format is pretty balanced. There's a lot of give and take, and you just kind of have to choose like what you want to beat on any given weekend and what you're okay losing to on any given weekend. I don't love this hand. I might keep it though. Hey Tutors, how's it going? Yeah, except for Yawgmoth, you just beat everything. I'm gonna keep this. Do you feel like Red-Black is better to play than Murktide at the moment? I do, yeah. I think Red-Black's matchup spread is way better than Omnath's. Or sorry, way better than Murktide's. Judo, question deck choice. What do you think is better to bring to a bigger tournament? Something polarizing like Dredge because you have to run Lucky to win anyways, or rather a deck like Rakdos generates something with a flat spread? So it just depends, right? Just like everything in Magic, the sad truth, boring answer is that the answer is always it depends, because sometimes your matchup spread with decks like Murktide, Jund, Rakdos are less flat than you would think and have somewhat polarizing good matchups in your favor. Sometimes with decks like Dredge, People are not playing almost any Graveyard Hate, and in those spots, it's amazing to play those things. But it just depends. Sometimes it's gonna be better to play the more polarizing deck. Sometimes it's gonna be better to play the less polarizing deck. Deck tech for Volpert. Well, take a look. Yorion. Ooh. No fetch land for the Wrenn and Six, but if I Fulminator Mage, I give them a land to bring back. So I think I just Seasoned Pyromancer this turn. Discard Grist, discard Kroxa, grow the Goyf. Only to 3/4. Red white creatures. Oh boy. I don't know, like, okay, these like 80 card Yorion Taxes style decks that are, you play a lot of weenies and you play a lot of like lower quality cards like Lion Sash, Restoration Angel, Skyclave Apparition. I've always had a really hard time wrapping my feeble mind around decks like this. You know what I mean? I don't know, like, people play these kind of decks. They do well with them on occasion. I'll say this though: if you're making deck building decisions, like playing 2 copies of Wall of Omens in order to improve the quality of your ephemerates, you should probably play 4 ephemerates in your Yorion deck. You know what I mean? Or not play ephemerate at all, and then cut Wall of Omens, which in general is, you know, gonna make a deck like this that is, in theory, somewhat aggressive. It's gonna make a deck like this much better. Alright, kill this Wrenn. So that's kind of like my first note, is I really dislike deck building decisions. Like, I'm gonna play a Wall of Omens, but I'm only gonna play, or 2 Wall of Omens, but I'm only gonna play 3 ephemerates. Because I don't have that I don't have enough creatures to work with ephemerate. And so I just kind of feel like maybe you just don't play the ephemerates at all. I know that they're good with your recruiters. I will say this though, I've been playing a lot of recruiter brews, like a lot of like sacrifice recruiter brews lately. I've played decks like this in the past that are like Jeskai. I've drafted decks like this in the past that are Boros, usually a bit grindier than this, but pretty similar. And I'm starting to come to a sad opinion that Imperial Recruiter maybe just sucks in Modern. It's a card that is, you know, seen like a decent amount of play in Legacy. It's a card that is powerful, gives your deck some consistency, but I just haven't had that much success with any deck playing Imperial Recruiter so far, and it doesn't really feel like the issue is the recruiters so much as it feels like the issue is it doesn't feel like the issue is with the list so much as the issues are with the recruiters. I also, I previewed Lion Sash. Lion Sash is a card that's near and dear to my heart. I think the card's unplayable, like completely unplayable. I like seeing a Sanctifier and a Magus as some tutor targets. I think that is some fine deck building, but for the most part here, I generally think this archetype is not that good. I'm worried about Endurance, but I don't think I should be, right? If they had Endurance, they should have already used it. Maybe they wouldn't have. No, they should have used it in response to the Grist Plus, right? Seems like cutting them off white mana was pretty good here. I also, where's your, if you're gonna play Imperial Recruiter Kiki Jiki, you need to play Feldar Guardian over Restoration Angel, or at least like one Feldar Guardian over one Restoration Angel, so you can tutor for your combo and chain that together. I'm also of the opinion that like these like creature decks with Aether Vial, like playing Fable the Mirror Breaker always feels really weird. I think Fable's like pretty good in like specifically Grixis Persist or Grixis Creativity in Modern, where you have a lot of synergies with the effects of the card. I'm not that impressed by Fable and like these mid-range decks either. So again, just kind of like a lot of like looser thoughts on this deck's overall construction. Oh, you're also not playing any Esper Sentinel. Esper Sentinel is like probably better than Giver of Runes. Maybe play one Giver as a recruiter target, but I would be playing 4 Esper Sentinel for sure. Also, like in these Boros Stoneblade decks, I've really liked playing. I found the best shell for these decks to be playing Fervent Champion and Ranger Captain to tutor Fervent Champion and a bunch of swords in the 60 card version. You know, that's like the best Boros mid-range deck I found since brewing Post Image 2. I don't really think that this list is doing anything better than those either. So, a lot of loose thoughts. Okay. So let's say one filter. Okay. We're on the draw here. I'm going to click keep. Well, we got 4 Fulminators on the draw against Tron. Obviously, if they stumble, we're in good shape. But if they do have Tron on turn 3, you need it to not be that impactful. And there's a second. Sorry, I got to text about dog stuff. But there's another. There's an Urza's power plant. I'm feeling great now. Feeling great. Remember last week you talking about brewing Boros Boom Bust? I haven't. There's a lot of things on my list like that where I feel like I've got an idea and I talk about like working on it on stream, and then I just end up doing something like this. I have 2 different decks besides the Boros Boom Bust that I worked on yesterday that are prepped and ready for either today or tomorrow, depending on how this goes. I will continue to work on the Boros Boom Bust. I think with Kieran, I think that there is some legs there. That's if I end up streaming the there's a Sunday Super Qualifier for Modern this weekend. And I'm going to play I'm playing a local paper qualifier on Saturday. So on Sunday I think I'm going to be trying to stream the super qualifier, and maybe we'll play like the Boros Boom Bust deck in between rounds, or like work on it then. Game 1, baby. Game 1. What if I win Saturday? That's something I have to check, right? Because I think that the paper qualifiers just qualify you for Atlanta, but then I think that the Magic Online qualifiers actually qualify you for the Pro Tour. I'm not sure that that's the case. So it's probably worth playing the Super Qualifier no matter what, but we'll see. We'll see. No, I'm not playing a Triome. I think that the mana is good enough in this deck, and this deck is interested enough in not wanting lands to enter tapped that I'm not playing the Triome, but you can play Triome. You can play a Triome. They qualify you for land? Okay. Then, if I win on Saturday, I will not play on Sunday, but I'll take a well-deserved rest after winning a nice tournament, and I'll be back Monday. I would tinker with Vesperlark, Body Double Shield, Arkham Ramitor. I think that version's pretty bad in my opinion. I think it's pretty cool though. Okay, I would really love to find an Unearth and then Wrenn and Six Ultimate Unearth with Fulminator Mage. And I can even try to mill 2 Unearth or Coco with the Grist. What am I playing on the Super Qual for Sunday? I don't know. I don't know what I'm playing Saturday either, to be honest. I've got a few lists. I'll probably play either Rakdos Food or Jeskai Lotus Field for the same reasons we've talked about, like me liking those decks positioned in the metagame over and over again. 3 main deck Fulminator Mages against Tron. Feeling good. Yeah, Rakdos, comma, food. Do you have your qualifier entry for the end of year regional championship? No, I don't. Although those events have just started. I think this weekend is the first. Well, there's DreamHack, and now this is the second qualifier this weekend, right? Play this deck and compare versus all Tron Amulet players to punish them. Any ulterior motives there, Ed, with me doing that? There has been a lot of big mana lately. It's part of the reason why I like playing this deck, although maybe I'd like them to stay in the format, huh? Opponent grabs a Tormod's Crypt, so my dreams of ulting this Wrenn are... Well, dang it, no! Okay, so maybe they'll minus sack after I ultimate the Wrenn. I think that's a possibility. Is this deck not Ponza because the black or not Ponza because the other stuff going on? I usually consider Ponza to just be straight red-green decks playing Blood Moon. My definition of Ponza is actually red-green mid-range decks playing Blood Moon, and maybe Land Destruction, maybe not Land Destruction. I thought it was really silly in like 2017 or so when some players were like, this is not a Ponza deck because it's not playing Pillage, but it was just the exact same like Ponza variants that you had been seeing around Modern for a long time, but it was like -3 Pillage for 3 other cards, and like everything else about the deck was exactly the same. So that's usually how I like to codify Ponza as an archetype. I've always associated Ponza more with Land Destruction than Blood Moon. I think that the fact that Blood Moon is basically always like more of your premium interaction than Land Destruction, and the fact that there was a significant period in Modern's history where these decks just cut the 3 copies of Pillage, and all of a sudden they only had Blood Moon as like interaction, and Blood Moon and like burn removal spells. I definitely felt like those decks were still the same decks during that era, but if you disagree with me, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so cutting the endurances. I think I'm cutting 4th Grist. 1 Kroxa, 1 Goyf. Don't think I want Liberator, don't think I want Thoughtseize. Need to keep the Coco count up to at least 26. Yeah, 4 Fulminator's main deck. Again, the idea here is that the Coco Unearth Shell alongside Grist, Seasoned Pyromancer, Wrenn, Kroxa, this is going to give you enough equity to outgrind the other Ragavan decks while giving you like basic, like, you know, incredible matchup against the big mana combo decks. And then 4-color Omnath is tough, just like it always is. Although we did beat the Vivian version. Round 1 of this lead. There's a Boseiju. Probably gonna mulligan this on the draw against Tron, though, with Boseiju being my only land. Why is Modern thrash with MH2? Thrash with MH2. Do you mean trash with MH2? So I don't know if I would, if that's the word I would use. I will say this though, you know, there's a lot of people who are, you know, are angry about Modern at the moment. I feel like for some reason or another, recently there's been unrest in the community, and in my opinion, the reality is that when you go really long without a new set release like this, things can start to become stale, and you have like a lot of the same matchups over and over again, and it's, you know, it's not as easy to play new things and try new things. And I feel like whenever we go a long time between set releases like this is like definitely the time where we see more discontentment and more angst and stuff, do need a Fulminator Mage. And it's okay to not like Modern. It is okay to not like Modern. In fact, if you're not feeling it, I encourage you to not play it and encourage you to do anything else besides, you know, anything else. If you're not enjoying it, I recommend not playing it. It hasn't been that long. This session between Streets of New Capenna and the next set release is the longest time between new additions to Modern that I can remember. I can't. Does anybody know when it's been like this many months the last time? Because I can't tell you. Like, I know it's only been 2 months since Streets of New Capenna, but this is like when we would usually be getting another set or something. It would be, yeah, literally the longest in all Modern's history, which just like leads people to get bored because they want to be doing new stuff and there's not new stuff to do, and it's okay. It's okay to be bored. Awkward draw for my opponent. Did you miss this deck? I just saw one from Whiskey. I did miss this one though, so I don't know who this was from. Good catch, Turnpike. But Whiskey, if you post a good chat, I'll take a look in the chat. It's because they changed release dates with double and Australia. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like almost 6 months. It's maybe even like a full 6 months. But yeah, it's okay to be bored. It is normal to get bored during huge gaps between set release. Got refunded for it? Okay, sorry, Bust. Just... Okay. Oh, this is Pioneer. Yeah, I just as a general... thoughts on this. I've definitely messed a lot with like trying to have like these mid-range artifact payoff decks, thinking that with Moonsnare Prototype and Springleaf Drum there was enough support, and I haven't really been able to figure it out myself. And my lists have looked somewhat similar to this. Just as a quick note. Gotta admit, I ran for Modern because of Image 2, currently pushing back, planning to buy Hollow Vine Crystals. Yeah, that deck's really, really fun too. And there still is a lot of room for trying new things. I think that the format is not bad right now. Yesterday I feel like I had a bigger breakthrough in brewing that I've had in a few weeks too. I didn't hear that, Vanny. Yeah, it's crazy. The Supreme Court is just on like total coup mode. It's crazy. We've already done a few rants about the Supreme Court on the channel lately. What did I brew? This is the first one. Obviously, it's not super duper different. Okay, this is a small detour. People have been really taking issue with the word brew lately, and it's kind of frustrating to me. Like, especially in the YouTube comments. This is, if you're hearing this, I'm talking to you. Like, with Monday with the Illuminator Virtuoso deck, I thought that that Ground Rift plus Illuminator Virtuoso was really cool. I know people have played Red-White Magecraft with Ground Rift, but this was, I thought, a really cool, new, innovative iteration. I spent a lot of time on this list. Hours and hours on this list. This Celestial Kirin deck, Saffron Olive played a Celestial Kirin deck before MH2 came out. This deck has, like, I don't know exactly what that list looked like, but this list is so different, I believe, from Saffron's. I spent a lot of time hammering this out. We had an awesome stream with it, but because people have played Kirin decks in the past, this isn't a brew. Even though I spent hours and hours tuning this deck list and working really hard on it. It's... I don't know. And, like, is that... Obviously, like, we've played a lot of these cards. It's kind of a new combination of them with the main deck Fulminator Mages. I just hate getting actually. Okay, but Rakdos Shadow. Okay, we've been talking about. I think we've been talking about with Rakdos Shadow a little bit with you lately. Says new match for 2-0. Have to mulligan that hand. I think we have to keep this one. People's expectation of what my brews have been, or something that felt like was new, innovative. When they see something that feels familiar, was their expectation to brew. Yeah, I guess so. But it's just like, yeah, you know, like I get to do a lot of real like super duper fresh brewing when there's new cards in the format. There's not new cards in the format. I've been doing this for like 3 years now. It's rare for me to dig up a super obscure, you know, a super obscure card and build a brand new archetype. It maybe every once in a while, but it is just very rare that happens. And so like in this long drought between set releases, brews need to be like this, where it's like, you know, older things played in new combinations with new innovations. Although I was like, I don't know. the Virtuoso one really got to me, to be honest, because I just feel like that deck was awesome. I feel like the Virtuoso deck was so cool, and there's just like multiple people saying, this isn't a brew. People have played Magecraft in the past. And I just thought I thought the list was like really innovative too. But I could stop whining. Okay, so you're playing more of a mid-rangey red-black variant with Death Shadow. So, like, one issue I really have with this version, which is maybe compensated by the Street Wraiths, is the fact that you want to play, like, Din, Hive, Shokuzan, Takenuma. You may want to play the other ones that give your Ragavan's abilities, your Turok's abilities, and then a lot of your... I think that, like, maybe too many of your lands don't deal yourself damage for Death Shadow. Maybe that's compensated by the fact that you're playing for Street Wraith. I would just recommend doing a lot of playtesting. I also dislike playing Temur Battle Rage in a deck where Temur Battle Rage is only good with Kroxa and Death Shadow, where it's like pretty bad with Spyro, it's not particularly good with Turok, it's not particularly good with Ragavan, although it has its moments, I guess. Not good with Voidwalker. I think that you would need to cut the Temur Battle Rage and just play a more mid-rangey version. You can maybe play like 1 or 2 Unearth with these Seasoned Pyromancer, Voidwalker, Shadows. But that's an issue for sure. 3 Kolaghan's commanding the board is a lot. Okay, they stole my Hierarch, and now they're attacking my Grist for 2. Okay. So I'm pretty likely to go minus Grist, kill Shredder, Unearth Grist, play Hierarch. I probably play the first Chalice or the second Void Mirror. I would definitely, yeah. But I think I would not play Temur Battle Rage. I would see how Shadows feel with the Street Wraiths. This may be fine. I would have at least the third Turok in the 75. In the sideboard for the 4 colors, those blue-white matchups. Maybe over third Kolaghan's Command. Unearth over Temur Battle Rage is probably what you have to do. I think Temur Battle Rage is pretty bad in the deck. You can maybe play 1. You can't play 2. I think. Do you think this is worth playing instead of splashing blue? No, I guess I should have said that. I don't think so. I think that the blue versions are probably gonna be better at utilizing Shadow, and then like the Rakdos mid-range decks are gonna be better at utilizing Dothy, Voidwalker, Turok. And I don't think that this is like a good blend of the two. I think that again, Grixis Shadow better at using Shadow, cheap beatdown deck, and this deck is the red-black is better at being more of the mid-range deck. R8 11 months. I also haven't liked Voidwalker very much in the Shadowless in the past. Historically, I found Voidwalker to be like a bit slow and mana intensive in a deck that's looking to be really mana efficient. R8, thank you for the 11 months. Appreciate you. Did I think about adding Dryad Arbor? Dryad Arbor is the card that people suggest adding because it's like a fun, cool suggestion, and I'm the one that has to draw it and lose games because of it. I especially dislike Dryad Arbor in decks with Kroxa, but I'm really low on Dryad Arbor. I think it's good in like exactly Yawgmoth, and I'm like you're pretty unlikely to see me play it in any deck besides Yawgmoth. I don't know for Dimir Shadowless, and you recommend adding Godless Shrine and Pendings. Does that hold here too? Does that hold here too? I'm sorry. In the context of what deck are you asking for? For here too. Like what deck did I suggest splashing white for pending? Or sorry, are we talking about this deck or are we talking about the Rakdos deck splashing white for pending? Because I don't know when. Oh no. Bummer. I don't know when you did that deck tech, Panda. You do a lot of the Dimir Shadow deck techs. I was maybe higher on Prismatic Ending then for the recent dono. Okay. Well, for Blue Black Shadow, splashing white for pending was probably so you have answer to like specifically Sanctifier and Vec. Sanctifier and Vec is a pain for this list too. But my kind of idea was to go around it with green cards with like Outland Liberator, Boseiju. It's kind of the idea. Tarmogoyf. I don't know if that's a good idea, but that was maybe not even the best strategy for Grixis Shadow. Like you're maybe even supposed to be like, or Blue Black Shadow just play Dress Down instead. Extra long stream today. I'll try. So me and Esther we were dog sitting, and the dynamic between the dogs, dog sitting and Athena, is pretty bad. So my friend's brother is picking up the dogs, and I don't know if I'll be needed early. Yeah, so just I'll try to do a longer stream today. It just might not be possible. Infractor Shadow deck tech. Yeah, I don't think that's the solution. Splashing white and being Mardu Shadow, especially because I think the best versions of the Mardu Shadow deck are like the Obosh ones I've been working on previously. So I think I'm gonna upkeep Coco because if I hit Seasoned Pyromancer, I'll want to have upkeep the Coco. Ryan, thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate you. Watch your Esper Food video. Don't know how much time you put into this. Thanks, man. Where can I donate you besides subs? There's a donate button somewhere, but, you know, I'm okay. Maybe gift a sub, you know, 1 sub. Oh, I think I would generally prefer sub gifts rather than donations, since it helps grow the channel. It helps, you know, some people who otherwise may not be able to afford it watch the stream with no ads. Kind of perfect Coco hits. Sogo, thank you for the 5-pack. If you've got a gifted sub from Sogo, make sure to thank them. Okay, they got 1 card in their hands. Could be a counterspell. They didn't have the... Oh, they could have tapped their Hierarch for red, so maybe not counterspell. Okay, Dead Grist. No, they don't have another... Their hand was Lightning Bolt Murktide. Gross. Beatable, but gross. You need Team of Rec practice today? I don't think today. I think I had some successful deck tuning last night. We're not going to use the B word anymore. But I had some successful deck tuning. Okay, so if I play my Endurance, target my opponent, the Mishra's Bauble goes away, but the Goyf is still going to be a 5/6, which is big enough to attack through the Murktide Regent. Added 2 Underworld Breach. Adding Breach to the Shredder Phoenix list is pretty interesting. Patrick, what did you cut? I think that's a good idea. I was worried that you would have like tension between it and Phoenix, but Breach is just probably so good in prowess, it's fine. First one at least seems pretty good. Would have been good to Endurance target no one. I think you could have Endurance targeting no one, but I think I've made that kind of mistake against Murktide in the past and like enabled them to get Delirium and regretted it. Untested Gaming, 5 months. Appreciate you. You got another counterspell opponent. You got one of them counterspells. Oh no, I could have Dryad Arbor. Dude, I wish I could conjure Dryad Arbor, you know? Just like alchemy the Dryad Arbor into play. 1 spike, 1 salvaging, okay. I think I may be down to like cut to play 1 Underworld Breach. I don't know if 2 is also pretty reasonable too. That's what deck I'm playing in the tournament. Not yet. Not yet. I had decided yesterday, but I just always do this. I just like always bounce back and forth. And I think my mental state is a bit better than it has been. I really feel like I've been like grinding my brain against the sandpaper of Modern, trying to crack like Da Vinci Code and see all the possible angles. But I think I think I was trying to see things that maybe just weren't there, and I think my mindset's better. Although I do need to sleep because I didn't sleep like almost at all last night. But my mindset is better, so I feel better than I did on like Monday, Tuesday. But I was up all night with the dogs. Yeah, just sanding my brain down until it's smooth. I like this gen deck. Does it do okay with so little interaction? Yeah, the idea is that the Fulminator Mages and the main deck really compensate for the interaction against the big mana combo decks. In fact, you just have like a phenomenal matchup against them, I think, because of the Fulminator Mage Unearths. And then Grist counts as like your removal. Wrenn and Six, you know, the pings are relevant. You have like Endurance for Graveyard Hate, so the deck is like kind of a deceptive amount of interaction, if that makes sense. Would Servant Grandson be good in Modern? It would be like the best deck, probably. So yes. Let's keep this hand. I think I'm putting back Coco. It might be hard to get to 4 mana if they kill my Hierarch, and then saving the Unearth for Grist seems pretty nice. Shocked at no bombardment. Yeah. And again, that's the like allusion to the good cards in the title. Besides being like a little bit of clickbait, good cards is alluding to the fact that yes, we've played this archetype a lot with Goblin Bombardment, but now we're just kind of playing good cards instead. Have I tried to tune or tinker with any Enchantress decks? I haven't. It's not an archetype that interests me that much, but if I ever have ideas on how to innovate it, I will. When is the next trophy race? I don't know. Okay, so, well, I was thinking that if I was going to do another trophy race this year, the next one is definitely the best season for me to do it. Like, not even close, really. Which starts August 31st. But that season is shorter, so I would be unlikely to break any records, but that would be the best time to do the trophy race. So it just kind of depends on, like, how is my qualification for Atlanta coming? Because like, if I'm still grinding these qualifiers, really trying to qualify for Atlanta, then I'm unlikely to have the energy or interest in a trophy race at the time. But if I'm like already qualified and the format's kind of dry, then trophy race makes a lot of sense in that time frame. And getting one this year would be really nice. I know we ended the last one at the beginning of this year. Am I thinking of going to Vegas? Yeah, of course I'm thinking of it. I hate missing Halloween with my friends. That's always like a really good time. Although I could theoretically come back like the night of Halloween. Which format this time for the trophy race? It would be Modern again, I think. I think it'd be very unlikely to be Pioneer. Yeah, that's also true. Like if I'm like invested in both Pioneer and Modern, it's a nightmare to trophy race. Like I think that's a big part of the reason why like Tudor's lost his lead in the trophy race is that he got like really interested in Legacy and I think maybe Pioneer too. Just playing other formats. So I'll be thinking about it. I have some ideas on how I would want to do it this time around, but I would also like to again innovate a little. Is Pioneer much more than Blue Red, Phoenix, Birds Green? It is more than that, yeah. For sure. There's a lot of Blue Red decks. There's also Red Black Midrange is unironically a good deck, despite it's like currently a Twitter meme to bash Red Black Midrange. The Blue White Control deck is pretty good. I think a little underrated too. There's a handful of other decks. Non-existent, 17 months. Oh, Heroic is actually like quietly cracked than Pioneer right now, I think. But I'd trophy race the standard leagues. Silhouette Scholar, $10. Well, now that they removed win trading, it seems a bit harder. Yeah. My hatred for Lotus Fields, I'm starting to think maybe I was wrong to hate Lotus Field so much. But then I remember, no, I was not wrong. And Lotus Field is the enemy. Okay, deck tech for Scholar. Been messing around with Advanced Neoform. I hope we see some Undying creatures here. No. Just Bant Neoform, good stuff. With Seagate Stormcaller. Okay, I'm not saying that you definitely shouldn't play... I'm not saying that you definitely should not play Prismatic Ending. But I will say that I've been a lot less impressed by Prismatic Ending in most lists recently. And I do think a lot of players are still kind of in the mindset that if you're in white, Prismatic Ending is a card you should be super seriously considering and probably playing. But the reality is Prismatic Ending is not very good against 4-color Omnath. It's not good against Living End. It's not good against Valakut. It's not even that good against Murktide. It's okay. It doesn't hit Murktide. It's okay against Shredder. And so in a deck like this that has access to a lot like Ice Fang as blockers, you have access to Solitude potentially. I'm not sure that you want to be main decking for Prismatic Ending. I think that I probably wouldn't be. One card I think I would be main decking, and it's kind of funny I'm saying this in the same name as Prismatic Ending, this does look like an Aether Vial deck to me. You have a lot of cards that give you card advantage on ETB, and Aether Vialing in Seagate Stormcaller, and then Neoforming it seems like awesome, right? That seems really fun. Typically, if you only play 2 Stoneblade targets or Stoneforge Mystic targets, I recommend just playing 3 Stoneforge Mystics. I recognize Elite Spellbinder is a Neoform target. I really think the card's not that good. I might be interested in instead playing like 4th Range or 2nd Ranger Captain. Also gives you more interaction in the more linear matchups. Having Heliod Ballista combo is cool. I think that's another reason to want another Ranger Captain though. These counterspells in the sideboard are really throwing me for a loop. Yeah, I feel like I would want to be playing 4 Ranger Captain and Aether Vial. And so, like, maybe you're even, like, sideboarding Teferis, just play 4 Ranger Captain. They've got to be better cards in Neoform into modern format. I mean, you can go into a more, like, combo-y Neoform deck, right? Or you can be more of, like, a fair... Oh, wait, is there not a Renegade Rallier? You have to play Renegade Rallier, actually, with Neoform. Because then you can Rallier back whatever you sack. Kind of assumed that wasn't there. I also think that, okay, I don't know if I still have this opinion, but for a while I liked Deputy of Detention more than Skyclave, because Deputy was, like, way better against Saga tokens, and could hit Murktide Regent, it could hit, Rhino tokens, although Rhino token's not that relevant right now. But I would probably be more interested in, like, main deck Deputy than, Skyclave. This definitely looks like an Aether Vial deck to me, but... Not that it's necessarily going to make your deck miles and miles better to play Aether Vial. Okay. I think I'm just still holding the Unearth. I don't know. Just kind of like a lot of loose thoughts. These decks are always so weird and toolboxy hard to build. Like, you could play Eldarmy's Call, which would help with you with your Heliod combo. And would also allow you to, like, more easily Endurance and Solitude your opponents. Also, like, Ice Fang is probably gonna, like, never have Death Touch. But when does Ice Fang ever have Death Touch? You know what I mean? End of turn Grist, or sorry, Subtlety. Yeah, maybe that's just par for the course, huh? I guess I should attack with just one insect, actually. Okay, end of turn Dress Down. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of like a lot of loose thoughts. Oh, I guess also Seagate Stormcaller probably is just like... This card probably just sucks if your only target is Neoform, actually. Okay, it is cool that you get to Seagate Stormcaller into Ranger Captain Feeder, but maybe there's a way to build a deck where you have like one one Storm Tamer for Eladamri's Call, right? And then you can set up for Stormcaller Neoform. Okay, I'll keep this on the draw on the blind. We're 3-0 this league, 6-2 on the day. Green White Company. I'm just like maybe just too addicted to Ranger Captain, but I love in these decks that Ranger Captain like both protects your combo and finds you your Walking Ballista, and also can find you like Forge Tender post board. I would probably be on the full 4 Ranger Captains in this deck. This is maybe also an example of a deck where I think that Extraction Specialist is worse than Renegade Rallier, where getting back a land is super relevant in your Collected Company deck, and maybe Extraction Specialist, the can't attack or block mode is not that relevant, but yeah, kind of have to wait. I think it's like a decision of how relevant is Lifelink versus how relevant is it, or how hard is it to Charm Revolt. Dude, Riddlesmith. This is, yeah, I think Vines was the one who was working on a Riddlesmith deck in Modern. And I saw it in action at the... Do I want to trade Ragavan for Midnight? I don't think so, because I can just ping the Midnight next turn. I was working on this at like SCG or DreamHack Dallas, and it was really cool. Magnet, the 19 months, appreciate you. Yeah, I also I will say that if you're a Collected Company Eladamri's Call deck, like playing Heliod, Spike Feeder, the 75 makes some sense. But I will also say this, I don't feel like Extraction Specialist is the problem solver for Devoted Druid as an archetype. I think that, you know, I played like the Naya Rocco deck with it lately. I thought that was kind of interesting. But like a big part of that deck's game plan in the first place was to like have Devoted Druid Vizier game 1 for like the linear matchups, and you would side it out and become like a Naya Stoneblade deck post board. Was like how that deck worked, which is certainly not screaming praises for the viability of like Devoted Druid combo in Modern at the moment. You know, we're still living in a Ragavan, Fury, Wrenn and Six world, and all those cards are so good against the Devoted Druid combo. Or maybe not Wrenn and Six specifically, but there's a lot of things that really punish you for being in on Devoted Druid Vizier. And again, I liked the formula of like playing the combo game 1, and that gives you a lot of equity in the linear matchups. You side it out in the non-linear matchups. I don't think that Extraction Specialist is a problem to your the solution to your problems. I would be on 4 Ranger Captain if I was going to build this archetype, though. I historically really dislike Charming Prince. I do think the decision to play no Mana Dorks is probably correct, although if you play for Ranger Captains, you probably want 1 copy, and then 21 lands with Coco is probably too few. I don't like Lair of the Hydra that much overall. Just don't like anything. Again, a lot of loose thoughts today. A lot of hard like toolbox deck text today, which are squeaking the limited juices out of my brain. Cruel Harpooner is a joke. Don't play it in Modern, I think. I don't care how many Ledger Shredders there are. I really dislike Cruel Harpooner. I feel like I would play like the full 4 Endurance before the first Harpooner. This post was brought to you by the Ledger Shredder gang. I see that you have Shalai in the sideboard. Shalai is good, I think, in no matchups. I don't know why. Like, if you're bringing this in for the burn matchup, your burn matchup should be covered with your Forge Tinders already. I like the Draenith Magistrate. I don't know if I would play 2. You could play 2 though. I feel like I'd be really interested in the idea of more Endurances. I think Junsack Coco deck is still good. I haven't played the deck very much recently. I don't think I've played it this year. I'll probably play like once or twice this year. And this is definitely an evolution, right, of that archetype, where instead of leaning in on Goblin Bombardment and Mayhem Devil and Bloodghast, you are just kind of playing more generically good cards, and you have Fulminator main deck for the linear matchups, which is the idea. And I'm not, you know, that's always like the big burning question, like what's for sure better. I probably have like 100 matches lifetime with like the Jun Sack deck, and I have like maybe like 15, 20 with this one, so no, I have to have more with Jun Sack actually. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say, but I've had a good record with this one so far. Is Turok not a sideboard because you can't be kicked off Coco? Yeah, I think triple black is also kind of dicey, but that would be one of the reasons I'd say. Okay, so let's go minus Grist. I'll probably just cast the Endurance this turn. Covenanting with the 6 months, appreciate you. Yeah, I think there's gonna be for people who are trying to play Cruel Harpooner as an answer to Shredder, it's gonna be a really, really common play pattern that your opponent goes on turn 2, Shredder Bobble, and you're looking at your Harpooner, and you just don't have a creature in your graveyard on turn 2, because why would you? And you're like, what? Someone maybe registered this card? Covenanting of the 6 months, appreciate you. How did Grixis Shadow go this week in those 4-1s? Yeah, I think we're at 4 4-1s, the Grixis Shadow, between this week and last week. I'm very interested in Gen Coco. Do you think Goyf is worth the spot? So yeah, I've kind of agonized a little bit on Goyf versus Voidwalker. Voidwalker plus Wrenn and Six in the same mana base is pretty dicey. You know, you do have in this list multiple Planeswalkers, Instant Sorcery, Seasoned Pyromancer, as all good ways to fuel the Tarmogoyf. That being said, Goyf is worse here than it is in like Jun Saga or Jun Midrange, so I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so we're playing against Riddlevine. I'm going to cut my Fulminators. I'm going to bring in the rest of the Endurances, and they are playing Urza Saga, they're playing Asmo. Ouphe is kind of interesting, because they are way more in on the cookbook and the artifact plans than other lists. They're also probably playing like one basic land. Maybe two. Maybe we'll just play Liberator. No Kroxa against the Vengevine deck. Play the Ouphe. Harpooner tech is legit? I don't know, dude. I'm really not a believer. Spike the Harpooners for killing Murktide? In what deck, though? Because, like... Wait, it's for killing Murktide? You have 5 creatures in your graveyard? I've looked at Scab Ruinator enough times to know, like, you don't have 5 creatures in your graveyard enough to want to kill Murktide. Covenant with the 6 months? Appreciate ya. I don't understand how people in Modern are always, like... they're always like, drown the lock is so bad if it's Murktide it never kills it, but like, let's play Cruel Harpooner to kill Murktide. Is it for the bait? Maybe it's for the bait. I'm telling you what, 5 creatures in your graveyard is very hard to get. Very hard to get. Although, does anybody want to brew a Scab Ruinator? This hand's maybe not a keep, but I have a Ragavan. How bad can it be, huh? It's for Shredder. Yeah, I feel like there are better answers to Shredder, you know? Again, because it's just going to be so common that your opponent goes either like, on turn 2, Shredder Bobble, it's a 2/4, and it's turn 2, so you don't have a creature in your graveyard, and your Harpooner just doesn't kill the Shredder. Like, every single Shredder deck plays Bobble. A lot of times they'll go turn 3, Shredder 1-drop, and then, like, you might still don't have a creature in the yard. Like, I just feel like that's too big of a fail case in a deck like that. Nice Shredder. So if I play this Outland Liberator, I let my opponent connive. Dude, Reinforced Ronin is so good against Ragavan. I cast this, it goes back to their hand. I also lose the treasure token. I think I'm just gonna play this tapped and pass. I'm not sure. Maybe playing Liberator is better. If you don't have a creature in the yard turn 3, the deck is probably happier. Yeah. I don't know what deck is like so good at getting creatures in the yard for Harpooner. Like maybe one Harpooner is good in Yawgmoth. I could buy that in Yawgmoth specifically. But I'm not even necessarily sold there, you know. If only we had Harpooner here. I've been had. Shredder into Shredder. Somebody stop this opponent. Discard Vengevine. Has not played a land this turn, but can't trigger Connive here. But they can Fury, kill both my creatures, bring back Vengevine. Is Vines in the chat by any chance today? Because I talked to Vines at DreamHack Dallas, and ooh, and he was playing you know, like a Riddle Vine deck. I think he was only playing 2 Riddlesmith at the time, but it was very cool. Riddlesmith, like with Daredevil, bunch of 0-mana artifacts, you get to loop through your deck, trigger Vengevine a bunch. I thought the list was very cool. Yeah, have you been working at all, Vines? I kind of stopped. I was getting pretty stuck with it. I kept getting kind of obsessed with Hollow One because it's like Hollow One is an artifact, and Hollow One works with the, you know, this is a discard-based Vengevine artifact deck. And I was just like, you know, sanding my brain, trying to make it work, and just like playing Hollow One without Burning Inquiry was madness, and it was like too hard to like fit the Burning Inquiries in the deck and maintain an artifact density for Riddlesmith, and so I kind of gave up. I'm on Salvage Titan. Hollow One gets stuck too much. Yeah. It's just like, so close though. I guess I'm taking this hit. Gotta keep the Shredders in check for now. Teensy bit flooded. Any way I can attack? I can attack for 4, then block here, sack here. I maybe randomly win the race. I think this 1 attack is okay. Can reassess next turn. I'm seeing interest in Devilish Valet. There was a Pioneer Teamer Grinning Ingus combo deck relying on Devilish Valet as an infinite combo win con. I haven't like really messed with Devilish Valet very much, but that deck was really cool. Is Isildur still my PT deck of choice for Pioneer? I don't know. I don't think I've played any Pioneer since that qualifier. Maybe I had the Simic Fight Club deck, but I just haven't been playing Pioneer the last few days or week or so. Spell. That's not Grist. No. Deck sucks. I think Valet's really bad in that deck. Yeah, it might be. It's good when you have infinite creature ETBs, though. It's very good, then. The Simic Fight Club deck is in the Stream Decker. There may be a YouTube video on it already, too. I'm jumping. Yeah, come on, Maelstrom Pulse. I think that keeping my life total high is probably more relevant than thinning, but I'll concede if I draw a land. But I will not concede if I draw a collecting company. Big money, big money. Okay, the Grist is needled, so just taking Liberator Endurance. I guess I probably shouldn't have main phased this, actually, because the Grist is needled. Usually that's why you main phase. It's night? Okay, it's night. So I'll probably trade an Endurance for Vengevine. I'm not sure. They have 3 cards in their hand. I don't know how likely it is that they can double creature. Okay, if they're discarding Vengevine, it's more likely. Wait, why did they discard Vengevine to Cookbook and not to one of these Shredders? Yeah, we were just like super dead if they didn't do that. But it's gonna be day again. Other Cocos in your yard to target yourself and not shuffle. I mean, I've got Tarmogoyf in the deck. I don't know. Okay, this is still needled, but I can kill the needle with the Grist. Or sorry, the Liberator, which I think I have to do. Yeah, I feel like with Tarmogoyf in the deck, you're just and Kroxa, you're just not supposed to like endurance yourself for these kind of spots. Could have gone Grist anyways and use Liberator to kill Needle. Yeah, I think endurance was kind of nice though against all the flyers. We cut Kroxa. Yeah, I'm kind of speaking more generally, although you are right. Dude, they hit Vengevines 3 and 4. Where are their 0-mana artifact creatures? Traded our Liberator for a 1/1 and 4 life. Alright, because they just have the Emery. It's not like I had too many other good lines here. Alright, they've got Oval Chase Daredevil. Squeak, the tech. We might have to settle this one in game 3, huh? 4-color Yorion. With literally 23 different creatures. Okay, we'll tackle that in a second. Do people assume the MTGO meta is reflective paper meta, or how do you adjust? The paper meta is a pale, distorted reflection of the Magic Online metagame, especially in this, you know. It was like that before COVID, it's like it now. I think it will likely forever be the case. Okay, I'm going to keep, I don't know what I'm putting back. Probably the Seasoned Pyromancer, because I'm going to have a hard time casting it and like keeping the Coco in the hand here. Frogwood 9 months. Do you think Gen Charm or Iteration is better in Shadowless? I mean, Iteration is better than like most cards in most of the lists. Okay, what in the world is going on here? Why do we have like, why are we literally just one-ofs? Is there like any payoff or like thought to this? Or is this just like a reference to the fact that I have had nothing but like tutor? Is this, oh, this is just a joke because every deck tech today has been like, Yorion deck infinite tutors go. Is that the bit? I really hope that that's the bit. Frog would think for the 9 months. I hope I'm getting the joke. Oh man. If so, this has been a good joke. If not a joke, please spare my life. Okay, I'm gonna play a Goy for the tech for 1. Can you explain why this way? Why wouldn't in person be alike? Well, in person, so yeah, Paper Magic is a pale reflection of the Magic Online metagame, where typically people are way more restricted by card availability and on Magic Online than they are in paper. Or sorry, in paper than they are in Magic Online, where a lot of times people are just kind of restricted to playing the decks that they own. They're restricted, and a lot of players also like don't play Magic Online, but they will keep up with deck lists, and they will just kind of like pick a list and stick with it for a little while, and they usually do so rather than like trying to tune their list from week to week like Magic Online players do. But they still go off of like tournament results from Magic Online. So I wanted to main phase this to make Coco bigger. They don't have anything relevant in their yard. I think I'm just taking double Outland Liberator. Maybe I'm taking Goyf Outland Liberator. And you know, you also still have players who are not like super restricted by card availability, are trying to keep on top of things. But like in my experience, like paper metagames are often like they're like just like 2 weeks behind Magic Online, and they are like not a perfect reflection of the Magic Online metagame either. But there's also like no like rhyme or reason. There's no like, it's not like paper has any like strategic things driving it that Magic Online doesn't. The reality is just that, like, you know, you just have more casual people playing it, and you have like, and like the lists are like just like less hyper focused. Okay, Asmo triple cookbook is probably going to be good enough for a win here. Man, there's a 3-0 run's going to die to Riddlevine. Yeah, and like getting magic cards in paper is tough for sure. Does the paper meta tend to lag behind the actual tiered meta sub MTGO? Yeah, I would say yes. I would say yes. I do have a Collector Ouphe in the deck. Just one, though. Just one. I'm a god amongst men. Why play more than one, huh? Let's go, dude. And I got Spyro to refuel. They do have infinite chump block with Mid-Might. Okay, 1 mana mill 4. It's a worst Tomb Scour. Whereas Tomb Scour's 5. I feel like my opponent's artifact counts as low, or maybe it's low post-board because they boarded it in Fury. I'm not sure. My opponent's hand is Oval Chase Daredevil mystery card. Yeah, I'm just always clip farming. All right, I'll play out the Goyf. Goyf is large and charge. I don't know what the other card is. Could be another Daredevil, maybe. Just one, though. Just one. Man, my posture is so bad. I'm a god amongst men. I think is Grinding Breach is good in the meta. There's like kind of an above average amount of graveyard hate at the moment. Like, and also like a lot of people have been main decking Hearse, which is part of the reason why I would say it's not particularly good. But I also think that the Grinding Breach deck is a powerful archetype, and it doesn't feel like one that ever is like a horrendous choice either. Probably upkeep Coco again. Poor Vines. Vines super hyped to have his list win. Just getting luck sacked, huh? Okay. Oh, they get to connive now too, huh? Into Saga. Swingy game. Yeah, I'd upkeep Coco because Seasoned Pyromancer, I think, is correct. So we're definitely still ahead. But not a lock anymore. Maybe we're not a lock at all. So not gonna shrink my Goyfs. Just gonna not target anybody or not and not cast this Hierarch. Not gonna do anything. They're not dead to Alpha Strike. Yeah. Casting Hierarch lets my opponent connive again. So their Urza Saga tokens are gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if they can draw another spell to trigger connive, they're in better shape too. How's red black versus 4 color? I think of all the Ragavan decks, it has the best matchup, especially because you have main deck Turok, main deck Voidwalker. You're still not favored, but you're like definitely between like 45 and 50%. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. They're not gonna needle my Grist, are they? Jeez, it's kind of unlucky. So they're gonna have 3 blockers. 3 blockers, and they're gonna go to 1. If I Alpha Strike, I could have killed them if they didn't needle my Grist. Alright, got some outs though. That is one of them. So yeah, if I go Unearth on Outland Liberator, kill Needle, Grist Sack Hierarch, kill Shredder, Alpha Strike is going to be 8 damage. Just kill Midnight. I mean, this line lets me kill the Shredder, right? Avoids connive. I mean, what can they connive into, right? Because if they're casting any spell, I guess probably should cast the Hierarch. If they're casting any spell, then they're not making a Saga token. So, like, in theory, a spell is going to be answering a creature that would otherwise be answered by the token. I already answered Bradley, but better than any other Ragavan deck, still not favored. Why isn't Black Red Rock a thing anymore? It is absolutely still a thing. I feel like every time I played, I have a good record. I'm seriously considering it for a tournament this weekend. The reality is, in my opinion, Red Black Rock is probably like the best Ragavan deck right now. I would probably play it over Shadow or Murktide, but for one reason or another, despite like me having this opinion a few different times during like different modern metagames and stuff, Rakdos has like basically never been a super popular deck. It has all kind of always been not a popular choice. Some people play it. It won CFB Vegas, but despite winning CFB Vegas, like people just still prefer to play Grixis Shadow, Murktide, Jund, and Red Black Rock has generally been not that popular. All right, on the play. Last seen 13 days ago playing Hammer Time. Hammer matchup's probably not amazing. We do have a lot of sideboard cards for it though, with the Liberators, the Ouphe, and the Boseijus. Maybe they've switched decks too. Can this deck outvalue 4 color? I think 4 color is probably not favored, but for us, but also probably not the end of the world. Made any changes? Oh, I started lines. I can't believe we drew the Ouphe and now we're 4-0. One of baby. Made it kind of awkward. I like keeping the Ragavan on the play though. So I would definitely want to be drawing a land. If I draw a land, I'm probably killing the Seacrim Coast over Urza Saga. I'm not 100% sure. I did draw the land. Let's go ahead and offer the trade first. They take it. If I kill the Seacrim Coast, they're not making any Saga tokens, so I think that this is fine. It could obviously backfire if they just like need to tutor a hammer though. I think I also get a Springleaf Drum too. If you're gonna play a value deck with no combo, there's no reason to play anything but Sword of Color since it has better play against. Well, I think this deck has way better game against combo underactive decks because we're main decking 4 Fulminators. I'm not sure if you're talking about like this deck versus 4-color Omnath, and I'm not saying that I broke it or this deck is better than 4-color Omnath, but this deck has definitely a way better like Valakut and Titan and Tron matchup than Omnath does. I do have a Discord. I haven't checked it in like 2 years though, so there is a Discord though. If you type ! Discord, I assume some people are still there hanging out. Gingerbrute. Oh. So they're definitely not light on mana. They probably don't have it, huh? There's no way they have a hammer here. That being said, I'll take the 1. What? They had the hammer. Man. No way, huh? Very unlucky they had it there. Okay, I can kill Gingerbrute. You've had 1 hammer, yes, but what about 2nd hammer? Or blacksmith skill. Oh, did I say Spell Pierce? Spell Pierce can hit Grist. I might have just said blacksmith skill though. Okay, down a game against Hammer Time. We're gonna bring in our Ouphe. 3 Outland Liberators, cutting the Fulminator Mages and the Endurances was my sideboard plan. But then I was kind of considering playing Magus over Kroxa, and I think that that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I did not say Spell Pierce. Okay, I did think it, though. I did think the word Spell Pierce. I've got to be honest, it did cross my mind. No, I don't usually like Thoughtseize that much against Hammer. I mean, you can play some number. Like, maybe because of Sanctifier, in fact, you can make a good argument, but my plan is to kind of beat Sanctifier with green cards or maneuver around it, kill their hammers and stuff. Well, Ouphe, there it is. Consider revisiting Super Friends and Modern Pioneer. Loved your old Dovin Super Friends list. Okay, so this is going to sound weird to anybody unfamiliar with the list, but the loss of Simeon's Spirit Guide was a huge hit to the archetype, and I also think that the addition of Counterspell was a really big hit to the archetype in Modern. I don't think the deck has a ton of legs in Pioneer, so I am unlikely to revisit it anytime soon. I have this swamp in my hand. I have no way to search the forest. I do want to attack for 1 though. Good luck activating your Gingerbrute opponent. Would I trade? I would trade Ouphe for Sentinel Giver, so I'll go to make this attack, and then I think I'm also gonna just be down to. Well, I could wait actually, because if they play Saga, if I get Magus and they play Saga, then I'm like pretty likely to like actually get the Saga by waiting here instead of like them getting to hold it. And then they may also have an underwhelming turn like this turn, and I don't want to like draw them into a hammer. Well, maybe they already have the hammer, I guess. But now I'll just main phase because of Grist. Although maybe this is worse to main phase because of Grist because they can attack it. Okay, Wrenn and Six Boseiju, pretty nice. Okura, thank you for the gifted subs. Sub. If that's for deck tech, you gotta get 1 more, but if it's just for a thank you, then I thank thee. Dude, how does this hammer deck still... They just keep drawing a hammer. What's the big idea? Oh, yeah, we have the Ouphe. We've got the Ouphe. Just to get my sub badge back. All right. Badge awarded then. Might be in for a long one here. Makes me regret leaving my culling rituals at home. Not sure how many outs to Ouphe they have too. But Sanctifier is definitely tough. We do have green blockers for it though, but they can get protection from green with the Giver. How do I build a banned version of the deck? I don't know. People say these kind of things a lot, like how would you like approach it for like this color combination? And that just always spins my head because there's like almost 30,000 legal cards in Modern, and it's just really not that simple as just setting out to build a different color version because you like a different color combo, you know. Probably should have tapped the Hierarch, huh? Doesn't really matter. Third Paladin. That's Ancestral Recall. It's pretty good. Scry falls 16,000 cards. Dude, I thought it was so much more. I thought it was so much more. Okay, so pro green, kill Grist. I need some good top decks to get out of this one. Although I may be able to ultimate this Wrenn and Six and start like looping Coco. Get that out of there. Okay, with only 16k, I can easily just shit out a banned version of this deck. Simply. It involves 1,000 spell quellers. The deck is just literally collected companies and spell quellers. And then also Verdant Catacombs, Stomping Ground. I should probably be attacking with the Goyf if they're going to be attacking with the Sanctifier. They gave protection from green to the Sanctifier, so I couldn't block with Goyf. No ping Giver. Giver has 2 toughness. 2 toughness. 2 toughness, baby. Welcome to twitch.tv/AspiringSpike, where I will read all of the Modern cards to you for simply $5 a month. You pick a card, I'll read it to you. Really? No, not really, actually. Apparently I'll do it for free. I actually yield this time. Orion with the Twitch Prime. Alright, what card would you like me to read? Now, limited time offer, and limited to specifically Orion. Just for that mistake, here's my Prime. Oh, I've already filled for free. Okay, 3, 2, 4, 1. Let's do another one. This deck's pretty cool. Pedro, is that for a deck tech?